Hello, my name is Carrie Brown and I am with the Central Mississippi Regional Library System. Today I'm going to be reading to you chapters 4, 5, and 6 of Calendar Mysteries December Dog. Written by Ron Roy, illustrated by John Stephen Gurney, published by Random House, New York. Chapter 4. Where is Officer Fallon? The kids walked up onto the front porch and Lucy rang the bell. They heard it chime inside the house. Nobody answered the door. Bradley looked through a window. "All I see is a Christmas tree," he said. "And the lights are on." "It's Christmas Eve," Brian said. "Officer Fallon might be Christmas shopping." "If this is his puppy," Bradley said, "maybe Officer Fallon went out looking for him." Lucy glanced at the other houses along the street. "The puppy could have come from one of those houses," she said. "Just because Pal found the tracks in front of this house doesn't mean the puppy lives here." "Right," Bradley said. "Maybe he just ran across Officer Fallon's driveway on his way to Main Street." "We should take him home," Brian said. "He must be hungry." "Wait a minute. I just thought of something," Nate said. "Jimmy Fallon lives over on Pheasant Lane. That's near here." "Who's Jimmy Fallon?" Lucy asked. "Officer Fallon's grandson," Nate said. "If Officer Fallon adopted this puppy from Furry Feet, Jimmy would know it." "Great idea, Nate. Let's go ask him," Bradley said. Nate led the kids and Pal further down the street. They crossed a dirt road without a name and turned right onto Pheasant Lane. "It's the greenhouse," Nate said. "We played soccer over here last summer." "Let's see if they're home," Brian said. "But what if the puppy was meant to be a Christmas present to Jimmy from his grandfather?" Bradley asked. "We'll be spoiling the surprise." "Or maybe Jimmy is giving his grandfather a puppy for Christmas," Nate said. "Only the puppy ran away." "Let's find out," Bradley said. He rang the doorbell. A tall woman wearing a red sweater answered the door. "Hi, Mrs. Fallon. Is Jimmy home?" Nate asked. She smiled. "No, I'm afraid not," she said. "He's gone off with his grandfather. Some secret mission." She looked at the puppy whose head was sticking out of Bradley's jacket. "Oh, how cute," she said. "Is it yours?" Bradley shook his head. "No, ma'am," he said. "We were wondering if it was Jimmy's or Officer Fallon's." Jimmy Fallon's mom smiled again. "Nope, no puppies live here. And I know Jimmy's grandfather doesn't have one either." "Do you think Jimmy was giving the puppy to his grandfather for Christmas?" Lucy asked. "Goodness, no," Mrs. Fallon said. "I helped pick out Jimmy's gifts for his grandfather. He's getting a new pocket knife and a wool scarf." She petted the puppy's head. "Do you mean this little tyke is lost?" The kids all nodded. "We found him on the sidewalk near Furry Feet," Brian said. "We're pretty sure Mrs. Wong gave him to someone, and Pal traced him back to Officer Fallon's house. We saw his tracks in the snow by the driveway." "We don't know who he belongs to," Bradley added, "but we think he's supposed to be someone's Christmas present." "Goodness! A Christmas mystery," Mrs. Fallon said. "Good luck finding the right owner." Chapter 5. Brian Hears a Splash. The kids thanked Mrs. Fallon and walked back to the sidewalk. Bradley opened his jacket. He handed the puppy to Nate. "You want to carry him next?" Nate grinned. "Sure." He slipped the puppy inside his coat. They headed back to Main Street with Pal leading. They hiked past the elementary school to Eagle Lane. "Can you take the puppy to your house?" Bradley asked Nate. "I'd like to, but Tiger might have a fit," he said. "So would my mom and my sister." "Let's take him to our house," Brian said. "Pal can play with him so he won't be lonely." "That's right," Lucy said. "If it hadn't been for Pal's nose, the puppy would still be out in the cold." The kids walked into the kitchen at Bradley and Brian's house. Bradley saw a note on the table. "Out shopping. See you soon. Have a snack. Mom." A bowl of tangerines sat on the table and the kids each took one. They sat down to peel them. Nate put the puppy on the floor with Pal and poured some of Pal's food into a bowl. The puppy raced to the bowl and began eating. "What should we do with him?" Brian asked, pointing to the puppy's wagging tail. "We have to find his real home," Lucy said, "before tomorrow." "I know that," Brian said. "I meant right now." "I'll get a box for him to sleep in," Bradley said. "What about Mom?" Brian asked, grinning. "She's always telling us no more animals." Bradley grinned back. "Mom won't find out. We'll hide him, then figure out where the puppy belongs before she even knows he's here." "But how are we going to figure it out?" Nate asked. "To and from are still a mystery." "I'll try calling Mrs. Wong again," Brian said. "If the puppy came from her shop, she can tell us who adopted him. If she does, we'll just bring the puppy where he belongs. Mystery solved." Brian pulled the napkin from his back pocket. Leonard wrote the number down. He dialed the number. "It's ringing," he whispered to the kids in the kitchen. Then he said, "Hello? Mrs. Wong? This is Brian Pinto in Greenlawn. We found a puppy and we think it came from your store. We're trying to find—" Brian held the phone away from his ear and looked at it. Then he put it back to his ear. "Mrs. Wong, are you there?" Brian hung up. "What happened?" Bradley asked. "I heard a splash," Brian said, "then nothing." "Maybe she jumped into the water," Lucy said. "Or she dropped her cell phone in the water," Bradley suggested. "She's scuba diving," Nate said. "Maybe a shark swallowed Mrs. Wong and her cell phone." The four kids looked at each other. "We have to hide the puppy before Mom and Dad get home," Bradley said. "Maybe we should walk around town and ask everybody we see if they lost a puppy," Lucy said. "Let's call the police station," Brian said. He was still standing next to the phone. "If someone lost this little guy, they might have reported it." "Good idea," Lucy said. "In my hometown, the police have a special officer in charge of finding lost pets." Brian dialed the police station. "This is Brian Pinto," he said into the phone. "My friends and I found a puppy on Main Street. Do you know if anybody lost one?" Brian listened. "We brought him home," he said, "on Farm Lane." He listened again. "He might be a Christmas present for someone," he said. He explained about the tag. "Okay, we will. Thank you," Brian said before he hung up. "We will what?" Bradley asked his twin. "The dispatcher says we should put pictures of the puppy on telephone poles and in stores," Brian said. "On Christmas Eve?" Nate asked. He looked out the window. "It's snowing again and it'll be dark pretty soon." Lucy nodded. "People are sitting around their Christmas trees," she said. "No one's out looking at telephone poles." They all gazed at the puppy curled up on the rug next to Pal. "I guess we'll keep him till Mrs. Wong gets back from Florida," Bradley said. "You mean if she gets back," Nate said. "She might be in a shark's belly." Bradley sighed. "I'll look in the basement for a box," he said. Chapter 6. Secret in the Closet. The kids carried the box up to Bradley and Brian's bedroom and closed the door. "Let's put it in the closet so Snoopy Josh doesn't see the puppy," Bradley said. They moved some stuff and made room for the box on the closet floor. Brian put one of his old sweatshirts in the box so the puppy would have something soft to lie on. Bradley added one of Pal's toys and a bowl of water. They set the puppy in the box and watched him lap up some water. "He needs a name," Nate said. "He's so cute. We should call him Brian," Brian said. He grinned. "Whoever is getting him for Christmas should name him," Bradley said. "Not you, cute brother." "And he might already have a name," Lucy said. Just then the kids heard a door slam. "It's Mom and Dad," Brian whispered. "We'd better get out of here before they come upstairs." "Be a good boy," Bradley whispered to the puppy as he closed the closet door, leaving it open a crack. The four kids walked down the stairs and into the kitchen. "Hi, gang," Bradley's dad said. "What mischief are you up to?" "We're bored with all this snow," Brian told his father, "so we're going to Hawaii. Can we borrow your car?" "Sure," his father said, "when you're 35. "Do you want to stay for popcorn and hot chocolate?" Brian's mother asked Nate and Lucy. "No, thank you, Mrs. Pinto," Lucy said. "I have to go call my parents in Arizona." And I get to open one of my presents, Nate said. Probably some new underwear or more socks. Nate and Lucy left through the back door. Okay, who wants popcorn? Bradley's mom asked. Just then they heard a bark from upstairs. Bradley looked at Brian. Brian's eyes grew big. Maybe Pal got locked in our room, Bradley said. I'll go up and get him. But Pal walked into the kitchen. I thought he was upstairs, Bradley's father said. I guess not, Bradley said. He was thinking, quiet, puppy. I could swear I heard a bark from up there, Bradley's mother said. Maybe it was Josh, Brian offered. He makes a lot of funny noises. Josh is out somewhere with Dink and Ruth Rose, his dad said, and I've never heard him bark. I thought we were having popcorn, Brian said. And hot chocolate, Bradley said. Yum, yum. While their parents were making the popcorn and hot chocolate, Bradley and Brian high-fived. 10 minutes later, Bradley's father carried the tray into the living room. They sat in front of the Christmas tree. Mom, can we open one present now? Brian asked. I don't know, honey, his mother said. Christmas is tomorrow. Pretty please, Brian begged. Just a tiny present. I guess it will be all right, their mother said. Take those 2 flat ones in the striped paper. Hey, if the twins get to open something, I do too, their father said. Just then Josh burst into the room. Me too, he said. I thought you were with Dink and Ruth Rose, his mother said. They had to do some stuff, Josh said. Christmas stuff. You look funny, Josh's father said. Why's your face red? Do you have a temperature? His mother asked. She put her hand on Josh's forehead. I'm okay. I ran home, Josh said. Then he reached for a present with his name on it. Can I open this one? Sure, his father said, but let the twins open theirs first, please. Bradley and Brian tore the striped paper off. They each found a book. Bradley's book was called Swamp Secrets. Brian's was 100 Amazing Magic Tricks. Cool, Brian said. Come on, Brad, let's go up to our room and read. When we finish, we can swap books. No, Josh yelled. The twins stared at their big brother. Why not? Bradley asked. Because I haven't opened my present yet, Josh said. He held the present on his lap. He read the tag, to Josh, from Mom and Dad. Josh grinned. Thanks, parents. He shook the present. It's heavy, he said. Are you going to open it or not? Brian asked. Slowly, Josh removed the paper. Inside, he found a toolbox filled with tools. So you can fix your own bike, his father said. Awesome, Josh said. Thanks so much, you guys. Can we go up and read now? Josh said. No, Josh said. Let's sing some Christmas carols. Carols? His mother said. You've always hated singing carols. Maybe you are coming down with something. They heard a door slam. Who was that? Bradley's father asked. We're all here. Josh looked toward the kitchen. I must have left the back door open, he said. So who just closed it? His mother asked. The wind, I guess, Josh said. I think that was the front door, Bradley said. There are a lot of strange noises in this house today, his father said. Maybe it's a ghost, Brian joked. Go on up and read, the twins' father said. Enjoy your books. Bradley and Brian raced up the stairs. Their bedroom door was open. I thought we closed it, Brian whispered. The closet door was open too, all the way. The box was tipped over, and they didn't see the puppy. Oh no! Bradley cried. Where is he? They searched the closet, under the bed, and outside in the hallway. They even checked Josh's room and their parents' room. The puppy was gone. He ran away again, Brian said. Thank you. Be sure to tune in next week for Chapter 7 and 8. Goodbye.